This is the domestic report from Accolade News. We're starting with a focus on President Bola Tinubu. Guinea's President Umaro, Sissoco, Niger's Prime Minister Zeine, and other top leaders were among dignitaries who attended the burial of Nigeria's late former President Muhammadu Buhari in Daura, Katsina State on Tuesday. Also in attendance were Vice President Shettima, former Vice President Atiku, Abubakar, and Yemi Osinbajo, several governors, ministers, and ex-leaders, including business mogul Aliko Dangote. At 5:50 p.m., Buhari's remains were laid to rest amid tributes and a heavy presence of mourners. Catholic Bishop Matthew Hassan remembered him as a good man whose legacy goes beyond his presidency, while the Chief of Defense Staff, General Musa, read Buhari's biography before the interment, as security agencies struggled to manage the large crowd that gathered to pay final respect to the former military and civilian leader. Now in education, over 300 students of the University of Calabar's Dentistry Department have been thrown into academic uncertainty following the reported withdrawal of the department's license. The students, some of whom have spent up to 7 years in the program, were asked to leave after revelations of over-admission and regulatory non-compliance.
7 years ago, the University of Calabar admitted my colleagues into this fine institution in the hopes that after a certain period of time, they would graduate and practice without any issues. Fast forward to now, they are telling them that after spending 7 years in this school, that may not happen. These are my friends. I've had classes with these people. I've played with these people. I've laughed with these people. So you are trying to tell me that after 7 years, you expect them to improve their lives after passing exam, after reading, after spending countless nights trying to make these.
Now facing forced transfer to other disciplines, the affected students were pleading with the university's authorities and Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria to allow a measure with their medical counterparts, insisting their future also should not be sacrificed for institutional failings. Now in politics, Director General of the Obedient Movement and former Obidanti campaign spokesperson Yunusa Tanko has declared that Peter Obi will contest the 2027 presidential election regardless of whether he secures the coalition ticket of the African Democratic Congress. Tanko affirmed Obi's readiness to run amid internal tensions within the opposition coalition over zoning arrangements. He urged the coalition to zone the tickets to the south for national balance, warning against repeating past mistakes like the annulment of the MKO Abiola's 1993 mandate. While calling Obi a competent leader capable of transforming Nigeria, Tanko stressed the need for unity behind his candidacy. Meanwhile, Professor Ajaya described the ADC as an independent platform capable of rescuing Nigeria from the irony of a collapsing rich nation. Now in energy, fresh concerns have emerged over Nigeria's 54.99 trillion naira 2025 budget as the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries reported a marginal rise in the country's crude oil output to 1.547 million barrels per day in June 2025, far below the 2.06 million barrels per day benchmark set in the budget. OPEC's monthly oil market report for July 2025 showed only 1.24% increase from May's 1.528 million barrel per day based on secondary sources. Data from direct communication placed output even lower at 1.505 million per day. Compounding the concern, Nigeria's Bonny Light crude traded at $69 per barrel on Monday, $6 below the $75 reference price underpinning the 2025 budget. The national president for the Oil and Gas Service Providers Association of Nigeria, Mazi Coleman Obasi, warned that Nigerians' heavy reliance on oil revenue is risky, urging the government to prioritize strategic investments that will diversify and grow the economy sustainably. Now in international relations, the federal government said it has not received any official communication from the United Arab Emirates regarding new conditions of issuing transit visas to Nigerian nationals. This follows recent reports that both the United Arab Emirates and United States have introduced stricter visa rules targeting Nigerian travelers. In a statement, Presidential Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, said President Bola Tinubu remains committed to ensuring Nigerians can travel, work, and live abroad with dignity. He added that any genuine concerns raised by citizens are being addressed through diplomatic channels in line with Tinubu's 4D foreign policy and diaspora agenda. The president also reaffirms Nigeria's commitment to strengthening bilateral relations with both the UAE and the US. Still on international relations, Nigeria has intensified its bid for a seat in the Category C of the International Maritime Organization Council, taking its campaign to a high-level global maritime and aviation symposium in Singapore. Representing the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adeboyega Oyetola, the Managing Director of the National Inland Waterways Authorities, Bola Bamiji, emphasized Nigeria's commitment to modernizing the maritime infrastructure and contributing to global maritime governance. He described Nigeria's coastal waters as an untapped gold mine and stressed that securing the IMO seats will empower the country to shape international maritime policies, particularly in West Africa. The symposium also spotlighted Nigeria's marine and blue economy agenda aimed at boosting job creation and economic growth. Down in crime, officials of Lagos State Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development sealed the Expectant Hotel and Lodge on Musaria Pena Street, Oshodi, following sustained protests by residents over alleged zoning violations and community disruption. The action came after a formal petition accused the hotel of converting a residential property without proper clearance, causing noise pollution, traffic congestion, and poor waste management. In response, hotel owner Mr. Adetunji Soboide defended the facility, stating it operates legally with approval for commercial use and employs over 30 locals. Authorities say further investigations are ongoing. Now in entertainment, TikTok has removed over 3.6 million videos from its Nigerian platform between January and March 2025 for breaching community guidelines, marking a 50% increase from the previous quarter. In its Q1 2025 enforcement report released Tuesday, TikTok said 98.4% of the videos were proactively detected, with 92.1% removed within 24 hours of upload, despite the spike in takedowns, which include 42,196 banned live rooms and 129 West African accounts linked to covert operations. The platform emphasized that harmful content still made up less than 1% of overall uploads. As part of its push for digital safety, TikTok also launched a Nigerian-specific in-app helpline in partnership with CC Yara to support the young users facing suicide, hate, or harassment-related issues. That is the domestic news updates for now on Top Accolade News. To stay with us for more domestic updates and development, I am Blessing Bassi.